What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracka. Yes, I'm now raiding the Thunder God. That'll do it for this. It would be fun to do the entire episode with the hat, but I'm gonna go against that. Got a bit of a review to go over and show you what I got from Midtown, the comic they sent me for free, which I'll get into. But before I get into that, I want to thank some new subscribers, Red Vitamin Blue. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope I get the name right, La Raza. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Review. Also, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Well, not really fun. No, yeah, it's funny. But anyway, I'll get into that later on. I'll do a review here. Amazing Spider-Man number 400 I got a chance to read. Which, Midtown kind of lied on this. They gave it a good grade, which I would give it a lot less than a good grade. Which I didn't even notice it until I took it out to read it. You can kind of hear it a little bit. This thing is shot. It looks like somebody took the book, crumpled it into a ball, threw it into a corner and left it for a while, and then decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to read it. Took it out of the corner, unfolded it, went through it real quick, rolled it, folded it again, and threw it in the corner. It's flat out shot. But it looked cool. You know, the cover looks good, but just really just crinkled, destroyed. But really can't bitch too much because it was only a quarter after the discount, so I'm like, eventually I'm going to get the other edition one where it's the white. I'll probably get a better copy of that. Keep this as a reading copy. In this issue, Aunt May dies. What a shock. It wasn't too great of a storyline. At first you thought Ben Reilly was going to drop. Then you thought Kane was going to die, and then it turns out to be Aunt May, and Peter Parker's all upset and, you know, flips out, but he gets over it. Moving on. I've been reading the back issues lately that I had gotten recently because I want to put them away. So I haven't even got into my newer issues. So I apologize, but what the hell. Doing what I'm doing because I like to do it. Amazing Spider-Man number 428. Got a chance to read. If you're a Spider-Man fan, get this one if you don't have it. It was really, really good. I have to give him credit. It was probably one of the better Doc Ock Spider-Man battles I've ever seen. Or read. Seen. Didn't see it in person. That'd be interesting. But it was just really cool. And apparently in this, the issue before it or whatever, which I don't have, the one issue I showed in the last video with the girl Stunner, who was a villain who was apparently in love with Doc Ock. Apparently Doc Ock dies at some point, and she's devastated by it, and she knows these sorcerer people through the rose, and he says they can resurrect people, and she makes a deal with them, and they said, we can do it, but we have to, we need a life to give a life, and so she sacrifices her life so Doc Ock can come back to life, which is interesting because she's kind of like, if you ever saw the show Heroes, where the girl who is really overweight and ugly, and she projects an image of herself that's thin and hot looking. It's basically what happened with this. The girl Stunner, what you see is an image of what she pictures herself as, where in reality she's sitting on a couch, she's like 1,000 pounds, stuff like that. But not that that matters, but just the point of it. Just a really good battle with the two of them, with Spider-Man and Doc Ock. It just went back and forth, You're like, wow, this is cool. It's definitely worth it, especially that, like I said, after the discounts, everything only costs like a quarter, give or take. It's in great shape, and it's quite happy. It almost mirrors Amazing Spider-Man 700 in a way, like where it's, Doc Ock's dying or dead, and Spider-Man, kind of reverse kind of thing. Which is interesting. Another thing I was thinking of with that, if you read Amazing Spider-Man 700 or Superior Spider-Man number 1, especially at the end, I'm not going to give anything away, but you know what happens at the end. I was thinking another thing that might happen to Doc Ock is that with him like getting ready to snap from everyone acknowledging Peter Parker for all the stuff he's done, I created that, and you're giving Parker the credit. Oh wait, I am Peter Parker. He's kind of getting ready to snap. I think originally I was thinking maybe he'll come up with a clone body of himself and transfer his mind. But I was also thinking maybe he'll absorb enough of Peter Parker's conscience to kind of just say, you know what? It's yours, man. Take it. I'm done. I'm out of here. And just have it go that way. Which you also know that when Peter Parker comes back, and he will, the first 50 or 75 issues of that new book is going to be him apologizing for Doc Ock. Moving on. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, Number 3, which was really boring at first. But then towards the end they bring in Iceman, which made it all that much better. Made it cool. Moving on. Hippies Collectibles, man, before I get into anything else. Good luck with your Spider-Man stuff. I unfortunately don't have any of those issues you're looking for. I wish I did, but I don't have them. One thing I had mentioned on the video, which might be a good idea if you could pull it off. You wanted to get Amazing Spider-Man number 20, the first Scorpion sign, but you have a great copy, but it's got the ink mark, the pen mark going down it. I just said in the comment, man, if you can get Stan Lee to sign over that pen mark, you're golden, man. You'll have an awesome copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 20 signed, which it might not be too hard to do. I mean, depending on the line, like if you can get him to make his L, that into his L, then you're all set. Or have him draw something down there, into his name, which sometimes he does. You'll luck out. So ask him, what's the worst going to happen? He can say no, or either way then. But if he says yes and is able to pull it off, very cool. Moving into a quick story before I show you what I got from Midtown. One of my lovely New Year's resolutions, which I'm trying to keep, besides keeping my stuff organized, is getting myself organized and into shape, because I've gotten too lazy and now I'm like just trying to get back to my old self, put on some muscle rather than fat, and drinking juice and water and stuff like that rather than soda and all that other crap. And one of the things I used to love to do all the time was just go for walks. Just love walking around, which I've stopped doing because my knees got bad. But I figured, what, best start is just go for a walk. Start off right. And went for a walk, and I pretty much just walk around my neighborhood, a couple blocks here and there, depending on, if I'm listening to music, I kind of lose myself and just walk. I was at like the 30-minute mark, and my knees were starting to hurt. I'm like, all right, I don't want to push it because, you push yourself too much and you wind up doing more damage than good. And I went down a different block than I normally go down to, and there was a yard sale. I was like, oh, cool. My mother, which I've noted in other videos, used to love yard sales and kind of got me into it a little bit. I used to bitch and moan. I'm like, there's nothing good there. There never is. And then every now and then, whenever I said that, I'd show up on a yard sale and there'd be boxes of toys that were awesome and, comic books that were cheap. And I was like, what the hell, I kind of walked past it, gave a little glance, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw that he had boxes of long boxes and short boxes. I'm like, oh my god, the guy's got comics. I was like, I hope. I was like, but what are the odds there's nothing in there? But you never know. And started to walk to the bank. I'm like, might as well get some money and just in case. And called my fiance. I'm like, she's like, what are you up to? I was like, I'm walking to the bank. She's like, what for? I'm like, I'm gonna take some money out. She's like, why? I was like, I saw a yard sale. And she's like, oh god. I was like, they had comics. I was like, so I might get a good deal. She's like, alright, don't go crazy. So I took out like $40, which is quite a lot for a yard sale anyway. I went back and I went right for the comics. I didn't even look at anything else. And he had a couple people looking around. And I opened up one of the long boxes, and sure enough, there were comics in there, and they were bagged and boarded, so this guy knew what he was doing. And he was probably like his late 60s, maybe early 70s. And he seemed like a pretty cool guy. I'm like, I wasn't really talking to him. I was kind of just looking through the comics. And he was watching everybody. And they were somewhat in order. Some of them, were mixed in. I was just kind of going through box after box. And one of the boxes I found Silver Surfer Volume 1, Number 2. Just an old book, and I was like, wow. I was like, but nothing had prices on it. I'm like, all right, this is a little weird. And I asked him, I was like, how much you want for the Silver Surfer number 2? He's like, oh, 80. So I was thinking maybe 80 cents. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good deal. I was like, 80. He's like, yeah. I was like 80 cents. He's like, no, $80. I'm like, wow. I was like, all right, never mind. So I put that back, and I started going through it again, and then lo and behold, I found an Amazing Spider-Man box. And he had some old ones in there. Some, old ones. And I'm like, oh my god. Like the first half of this long box was all old Amazing Spider-Man comics. And then the other half was a lot of the newer ones. From like 550 to, 600 something. I'm like, wow. I was like, maybe I'll be able to get a chance to fill in some of the newer runs. Like, cause I can only imagine what he wants for the older ones. So I grabbed a couple of the new ones. He had Amazing Spider-Man 600, which I didn't have. So I picked that out. I'm like, yeah, it's in really good shape. Most of his stuff was fine, very fine, near mint. And I was like, this ain't bad. And I asked him, I was like, how much do you want for this Amazing Spider-Man 600? And he's like, 600. He's like, I'll take 45. I'm like, dollars? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god. So I put that back. And this is why this one of the things I was just kind of like, wow, this guy's out of his mind with his prices. I'm going to give Midtown some credit a little bit. He had Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, number 40, which I had ordered from Midtown, which I'll have to wait and see if I get it, which they charged, I think it was 80 cents for it in very fine condition. And like I said, with the discount and everything, I think I got like 50 cents to a quarter. I can't remember. But the guy had it. I'm like, out of curiosity, see what he wants for it. I'm like, how much do you want for this Amazing Spider-Man number 40? He's like, oh, I'll take 35. I'm like, $35? He's like, yeah. I was like, wow. So I put that back. And he was kind of getting annoyed. Like, I'm asking him these prices, and I'm just like looking at him like, you're out of your mind. And just out of morbid curiosity, like, he had Amazing Spider-Man number 5 from Volume 1 from the 60s. I'm like, yeah, how much you want for this one? He's like, oh, $500. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I put it down and I walked away. He's like, you're not going to get anything? I'm like, no, man. I was like, your prices they're just too high. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, these are great comics. He's like, they're, very valuable. I'm like, a lot of these ones that you're charging this much money for, I was like, really aren't that valuable. I was like, for instance, this Amazing Spider-Man number 40. I was like, it's Volume 2. I was like, it's from 1999, 2000. And I was like, I just ordered this offline for a quarter. And he's like, oh, you're out of your mind, a quarter. Come on. I'm like, I'm not lying to you. I was like, it was a quarter. I was like, it was 85 cents. I was like, with the discount, I was like, it came out to a quarter. I was like, I'm actually paying more in shipping than I am for the book. And he's like, oh, well, you know what? He's like, well, pick something else out and I'll give you a good deal on it. So I went through one more box and I found this old Batman that was from like the late 80s. I really never remember what number it was. It just had a really cool cover. And I'm guessing it was probably maybe worth like $5 max. And I asked him how much he wanted. He said like $50 for it. I'm like, I just looked at him like, man. I was like, we're really far off with this. I was like, good luck to you. I was like, I wish you the best of luck. I was like, but you're not gonna, sell them for this price. And he's like, oh, I'll sell it to you. I'll give it to you for 25. I'm giving you half off. I'm like, it's not worth $25. And he's like, well, how much is it worth? I was like, in mint condition, probably about $5 to $8. I was like, I'm like, I'm not even lying to you. And I was like, I'd probably give you like 4. And he's like, oh, you're crazy. And I'm like, well, out of curiosity, like, how many comics did you sell today? And he's like, none. And I'm like, and how long have you been doing the yard sale? He's like, oh, 2 days. I'm like, and you've sold no comics? Yeah. I'm like, and how many people looked at it? He's like, a lot of people. I'm like, see what I'm saying? And I just walked away. But what can you do? Anyway, show you the free comic that I'm calling a parting gift from Midtown. They sent me Prelude to Deadpool Corpse, number 1 of 5, which they claim is the first appearance of Lady Deadpool, which I'm not a huge fan of, so I really don't know if this is the first appearance of Lady Deadpool, but all you Deadpool people out there that know this stuff, I'd appreciate it if you let me know if this is the first appearance of Lady Deadpool, because at least I can put a sticker on there and mark it that it's the first appearance. But they sent me an email with this. We're very sorry for all the inconvenience that you've had to go through. Just know that we're the best, comic store, and blah blah blah, all this BS, and But you know what? I'm just tired of it. I'm done. It's always the same crap. It's, I let them slide. I'm like, all right, they're getting better. They sent me a free book. They gave me a discount. They did this. They did that. But it can be easily avoided. I mean, if you just did your job correctly the first. I mean, granted, you get errors. I understand that. But come on, 1 or 2 errors is one thing, but like almost an entire list is a little messed up. And I didn't even send them an email back. I was just, normally I would say like, oh, I really appreciate you sending me the book. I thank you. Not happening. I'm done with them. I just want them to send what they owe me, and then I'm calling it a day with them. Anyway, that's about it. It's a long enough video as it is. I know everyone's like, oh my god, another video from you. God, how many are you gonna make? A lot. But I promise I won't be making another video for a little while until I get my next shipment. I don't think I'm going to be able to actually get a chance to do a live show again this week. Just so much crap coming around lately. Birthdays and all sorts of things that I got to go to, and who knows. But I don't think I'm going to be putting on a live show this week, at least. But who knows, maybe I'll actually get a chance to watch some of the live shows on there. because they're fun, they're cool. It's almost like we have our own station now. Captain Cummings has his podcast, which is cool. The Great Legend has his, and Howler Mouse, Custom Bromstar. Different days, but Great Legend and Captain Cummings are the same day, which is kind of cool. So it's almost like I said, like you're going through the channels, like, oh, cool, good stuff, good stuff. Anyway, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you really like what you see, hit the subscribe button. It's not the size of your man cave that matters. It's what you have in it. And good luck, hippie, with your Spider-Man stuff. Rooting for you. Later.